I have to apologize to everyone because we just had a really nice cheesecake and it looks like we might have a little something else. And I'm going to come up here and talk about nutrition. So, does anyone here read the labels on the food before they eat it? Anybody? Good. That's really good. So what I wanted to talk about today, so maybe you already know some of this, but I'm hoping I can teach you a little bit about what you should be looking for when you look on a nutrition label. Now, okay, since a lot of you read the labels, what's the most important line on a nutrition label? Anybody?
Serving size.
Bingo. Smart man. The serving size is crucial to understanding everything on the nutrition label. Now, I don't know who here drinks soda, but I brought in a Pepsi bottle here, and I'm going to pass it around at the end of my speech so I can show you how important serving size is. Now, this Pepsi bottle has two lines, but that didn't used to be this way. Usually what they did is told you the nutritional value of 8 ounces, but the bottle has 20 ounces in it, which means it's 2.5 servings of Pepsi. I don't know anybody personally who ever drank a bottle of Pepsi in 2.5 sittings. So the problem is that if someone just glances at it, they don't realize how much they're drinking. They don't realize how bad it is for them. So this is an example of a nutritional label. And as you can see, the serving size comes at the top because it's absolutely the most important line on the label. After that, it also tells you how many servings are in the container, which in the case of the Pepsi bottle is 2.5. Now the difference is, if you only drink 8 ounces of this, you get 28 grams of sugar, which is a lot. But if you drink the whole bottle, you get 69 grams of sugar, which is a lot more. And a lot of people didn't realize that they were actually drinking almost 70 grams of sugar when they drank one of these bottles. Now, I'm not sure if it's out of the goodness of their heart or if they were forced to or pressured to by consumers, but eventually Coke and Pepsi caught on and started putting them side by side. A lot of other foods don't do that. A bottle of Pringles still says that the serving size is like 8 chips or something like that, but I don't think anybody actually eats 8 Pringles and then puts the thing away. So pay close attention to the serving size and then use that to adjust your expectations of the value. The next line you want to look at, of course, is calories. Calories in, calories out. Your body's always burning calories. If you eat more calories than you're burning, you're going to gain weight. Sometimes that's good if you're bulking up, hitting the gym, you want to put on some muscle. But in most cases, a lot of people want to lose weight. So you want to try to eat less calories than you're burning throughout the day. Now, the FDA assumes a 2,000 calorie diet, which is not always the case, depends on the person. But it's pretty reasonable. But you might want to also adjust your expectations based on what your own calorie needs are. After that, you're going to look at the fat, and there's a lot of scary things going on with fat. Should I eat too much? Am I eating too little? Is it good for me? Is it bad for me? And there's multiple different kinds of fats, and there's a lot of debate. But one thing that seems pretty clear is that trans fat is the crucial line that you need to watch out for. Trans fat is responsible for the bad kind of cholesterol that builds up in your veins and arteries and can lead to heart attacks, strokes, and all sorts of bad health issues. So that's the one you want to watch out for. Ideally go for 0. Don't even worry about the percentage. Just try to avoid it because it's really difficult to get too little of it in your diet. So the less you eat, the better. Cholesterol itself coming from food, there's a lot of new studies coming out showing that it may or may not actually affect the cholesterol in your blood. It seems more and more that they're finding that the trans fat and the saturated fat are what causes the cholesterol in your blood. The cholesterol in the food doesn't always correlate to the cholesterol in your blood. So cholesterol is not as scary as we used to think it was, but it's still also not really beneficial to your health, so you want to avoid it. Sodium, everyone knows, can cause heart problems and blood flow problems, circulation issues. You can have thin blood if you drink too much sodium. So you want to keep that to a minimum, but it's also essential, so don't panic too much if you're eating a lot of it. Carbs, Atkins diet, South Beach diet, they tell you avoid the carbs, cut down the carbs, you're going to get fat if you eat carbs. The truth is you need carbs too. If you cut down on carbs too much, it can cause kidney issues. And you don't want your kidneys to shut down, trust me. So you got to watch out. They found that even after just a week of the Atkins diet, a lot of people start having kidney issues, scarring on the kidneys, and after a month, your kidneys can shut down and stop working. So you gotta be careful with carbs. Don't overdo it when you're trying to cut carbs. Fiber, pluses, of course, it helps with your digestion. It helps a lot. Usually it's more geared towards older people who are starting to have digestive issues, but everyone can really benefit from having more fiber. Sugars, of course, sugars end up having their own problems. Sugar rush, sugar crash. Sugars can quickly pile on the calories because they're pretty calorie dense. So you want to really look at both the calories and the sugars to make sure you're not overdoing it. Of course, soda is famous for the amount of sugar that's in it. You've got to be careful when you're drinking soda, energy drinks, and even fruit juices. A lot of people assume fruit juices are really healthy, but you got to watch out because they have a lot of sugar in them. And then protein, I think everyone knows, it's mostly for muscles. It's used a lot in your body, so you got to be careful. Make sure you're getting plenty of protein, especially if you got a vegetarian diet. So I hope that talking and showing you this guide has helped you understand what's on a nutrition label a little better. I hope that you now know what to look for, especially with regards to serving size, and that you can quickly scan through this when you're shopping and know what to buy and what not to buy. And that's all.